Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Global Red. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment, share this video. I'd be happy to hear from you. If there's one thing that ever since I moved out here that people have asked me over and over and over again is, how much money does it cost you every month to live? I went all in. How much does this cost? How much does that cost? Okay, you win. That's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to tell you in this video how much I spend per month in Dalat, Vietnam. The next video will be how much money I spent in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And the third video will be how much my dad spends in Chiang Mai, Thailand. So I decided to break this into 3 different videos so that I'm not giving you like a 30-minute video every time I turn the camera on. All right, guys, well, here we are. So this first part is going to be my time in Dalat, Vietnam, and we're just going to go through line item here. I'm just going to show you what I spend every month, what my budget is. Okay, so first things first is my furnished apartment rent. My furnished apartment is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. It's in a really nice little small community. There's about 10 apartments here. It's gated. It's really nice. I love it. It's not fancy, but it's nice, and I love the area. And so for this, I pay $240 US per month. That's 6,300,000 Vietnamese dong. Now, most places in Thailand and in Vietnam are going to be furnished from what I'm seeing, unless if you're in a city. Once you start getting further out, you're going to find more single-family homes that are maybe unfurnished, but you're going to find a lot of furnished apartments and homestays and things like that coming out here. So $240 US there. My electric is about $35 a month. Here in Dalat, it's temperate year-round. I live without a heater or an air conditioner. So I have, look at this guy. Look at this guy messing with all my cables. Guys, this is Sony, okay? This is Sony. We just got him a few days ago, right? And he's a very playful, active kitty cat. He's very sweet. He likes to sleep with me. Anyway, you'll be hearing and seeing a lot from him maybe in this video. We'll see. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. So, year-round, temperate climate. Get away from the cables. All right, temperate climate year-round. So really only need the electricity for heating the water and the lights and plugging in our computers and things like that. Nothing major. So $35 a month. That's pretty flat and level. Doesn't go up or down much. Water is included here in that price, and so is Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is shared. There are some times where it lags, but it's really pretty solid overall. I had purchased Wi-Fi separately for work and found that I really didn't need it. So now I don't purchase Wi-Fi separate. But when I did, it was only $15 a month US. So next will be food. So food can obviously vary. And my diet is as such where I eat Western food maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And those meals generally are going to be between $7 and $10 US total. So I don't do that very often because the food here in Vietnam is absolutely amazing. And Dalat, everything's fresh. They grow everything around here. It's part of the temperate climate, so the land of eternal spring. So I put down here, $300 US because honestly, I can really keep it under $10 a day for food, honestly. So some days I do, some days I'll eat out. So I just average that out and we'll say $10 a day for food. So $300 per month US there. Drinks. Now this is where I spend a little more money than some people maybe, right? Because I go to cafes, coffee shops in order to hang out and work. So every place I go, I want to go ahead and buy something, obviously. And so I start off the day with a little, a cappuccino. And for lunch, if I don't get another cappuccino, I might get like a fruit tea or a juice or something like that. And, so I do get generally 2 drinks a day, sometimes more than that, right? But I try to keep it to 2 a day and then water the rest of the day. So that gets me around $100 per month US is what my budget is on that and what I figured that I spend. And that also, that and the food somewhat, that really buys me my office space. So I don't always need to have it quiet, so I don't have to pick a quiet cafe. I can pick a normal place that's to eat and stay there for a few hours. But this is how I spend my day. And when I'm done working, I feel like I've already had a full and a fulfilling day by then. So that's how I live my life. Now, transportation. This is how I live my life. Okay, so for transportation for me, I put this $2 to $4 per. That's per ride, right? So here in Vietnam, you have Grab as your option for getting around. They have motorbikes. You can hop on the back of one of those for real cheap, $1 maybe less, sometimes less, but no more than $2 ever. On the back of one of these motorbikes. You can also get a car, right? So most of the time, whenever I'm going somewhere and I take a car, it's because maybe I'm going somewhere nice, or I don't want to sweat, or it's raining, something like that. So I generally will get a car. You can get almost anywhere in Dalat for $3 or less on that. I will say this: Dalat is growing, and I notice the system is taxed a little bit as far as there are sometimes fewer drivers than there were, this time last year. So if you're Vietnamese and you are looking for a reason to come to Dalat, there's a job for you. Bring your bike, bring your car, and deliver some food, right? Deliver some people. So anyway, I put down $40 US per month because I walk everywhere I go. It's part of why I choose to live where I live. I'll choose an apartment by looking around to make sure that I've got everything I need right nearby. It doesn't mean I can't go somewhere else. It means I don't have to. And, if I'm working, all day and I've got about 3 or 4 cafes just here in my neighborhood that are perfectly fine and comfortable for me to cycle between for food and drink. So there are some weeks that only just a couple of times I even leave my neighborhood, right? So anyway, that's what I put for mine. Yours may vary, right? Yours could go up from there. So, all right, something people don't talk about a whole lot, cell phone, right? So my cell phone, when I first got here, I got the cell phone service at the airport, which is always the most expensive place that you can get your cell phone. And it will have options that locals use, but it won't have all the options. So after knowing people here, after my first month of spending $30, I got this service through Phone, which I recommend, and one time I paid $80 US, and I have service for the whole year. And I rarely ever run over. I think there's a data cap per day. I don't know what that is, but I've only hit it like twice, and it's because I forgot to turn my Wi-Fi on and I was walking around all day. So pretty incredible deal there. So banking fees. If you don't have a kind of sweet setup like I do, where I know somebody who has a bank here, and so sometimes I can transfer money over there and then pull it out for free. It's very hard to get a bank here as a foreigner in Vietnam. And so what you have to do is you have to rely on ATMs. And you need to check with your bank and find out what ATMs will work, because whenever I got here in Dalat, there are several different banks. And there's only one that I know that really works well with my card. I have a US bank card, and that is BIDV. And BIDV charges me, every time I pull out money, number one, the max I can pull out is 5 million Vietnamese dong, which is about $200 US, and it will charge me $8. Plus there's a conversion fee, right? So it can get kind of expensive to pull money out if you have to do that. And when you do it, make sure you pull out the maximum allowable. If you're coming in on plane and you're in Ho Chi Minh City and you're switching planes there, I know there they have an HSBC. They allowed me to pull out 10 million dong, and the charge was about half the price, so maybe $4 or $5. So much better value to do that. Problem is there's no HSBCs here in Dalat. I'll go over that more in a future video when I'll talk about kind of your money, how you get it, and how best to use it. But I will say this too: get a Wise card before you come overseas. Wise has very good transfer rates. It's very easy to load your US cash to the card and then convert it to whichever currency. In my case, it's usually Thai baht, or it's Vietnamese dong, and it is a debit card that you can use in the ATM machines here. So in some of the ATM machines here, and so there is still that charge though of $8 around about each time you pull out cash, even using the Wise card. So good option to have. As a matter of fact, I recommend getting that before you come over to Southeast Asia. So I put down $10 for banking fees, but the real fees are going to be your currency exchange, and then, like I said, if you're using ATMs, 3 or 4 times, a month, you're looking in the $20-$30 range. somewhere around there. So just keep that in mind. Entertainment and extras. Now, these are things that you can bring with you accidentally from home. Subscriptions to services and, Spotify and HBO Max, Disney Plus, all these different things. You will want to get a VPN. I recommend NordVPN, but you'll want to be able to show that you are on a United States server if you are going to be watching movies on your favorite streaming service, right? But also entertainment can be shows or museums, things that you do that are outside your daily routine and activity. $100 can really go a long way, especially if it's not something where you're dipping into it every day for something. When you find out you're living somewhere, then you kind of take your time, and maybe you only go out once or twice a week. Maybe you go on a date, or you go to a park, amusement park, or you go to an elephant sanctuary, or whatever it is you've got in the city that you're staying in. It's all new and you need to enjoy that some, but $100 will go a long way. And again, budgets can vary here. This is what I average. So I've only had to do one doctor visit since I've been here. I had COVID. I went to a clinic. I went to a hospital first, and it was completely overrun. So we went to a clinic, and the clinic had me in and out of there in 45 minutes. They moved me from doctor to nurse to doctor to nurse. That each did something different, taking my blood pressure, taking a blood sample, swabbing my nose. And by the time I was out of there, I had a shot and all the medications that I needed, and I was only light in the pocket by $35 US, and it took care of me. So very good experience there with that. So don't worry about little things like that. If you come to Dalat, you're still a city of over 500,000 people. There are pretty good services here for most everything you need. Pharmaceuticals, medicinal or medical herb, right? So this would apply more in a category for Thailand, right? But I don't use any regular pharmaceutical medications, but I have had to get it for like little stomach bugs or things like that. You just walk into a pharmacy, you tell them what's wrong, and they'll gather up a few things or one thing and give it to you, and they'll sell you the amount of pills that you need to get through that incident, right? So they're just not going to sell you a big ass bottle of whatever you need. They're going to sell you, like 3 or 4 tablets, right, or something like that. So pretty good, pretty cool a la carte stuff. It's never more than a few bucks. And a few bucks, I mean $3, $5. I don't even know if I've ever spent more than $5 at a pharmacy. I've been 3 or 4 times for little things, something itching or something, whatever, right? So it's pretty good. Healthcare, insurance is still a good idea, right? And, some of you may bareball it out here with no insurance, right? I don't recommend that, but me, I was able to get set up. I quit my job before I came out here. I was able to apply Obamacare for one of the free plans and have that float me for a year while I tried to start this new business and everything. And when you have healthcare in your country, depending on the country you're from, you have options. I had a Geo Blue Voyager Geo Blue healthcare. It was pretty decent travel type insurance that covered me in multiple locations, and it only came to $75 a month. I got it in you can get it in 3-month segments that way. There's a lot of options on health insurance, unless you're older, and there's fewer and fewer options, right? So I'm going to have a video with my guy who set both me up and my dad up on health insurance, and also on my dad's retirement visa. So that's going to be a really good one coming here in a few weeks. I'm not sure if it's going to come in 2 weeks or maybe 3 or 4, but it is coming. So make sure you've got that notification bell on. That'll be a valuable one. Other healthcare needs. Now, this is a column that I don't have any need for, but my dad does. So this column will stay here for when I talk about my dad living in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and we'll go over that. And he has other healthcare needs, so it's an extra expense. Visa run and have some fun. This is monthly budgeted money to be able to make your visa runs the way you want. So I just dropped a video on that completely. Sony, I'm trying to do a video. This cat sleeps all day and then the light comes on and oh my God. So anyway, drama queen. So I dropped an entire video on my visa runs and the different options that I have from Chiang Mai and from Dalat. So you'll make sure you click on that video, and I give different scenarios, and at the end I summarize them all and put them on the screen so you can see them all together. So check that video out too. But what I come up with is $250 in travel cost per month just to CYA, CEMA, CMIA, cover my ass, whatever that is, right? Just to cover my ass on a trip, because if I have to take a trip to Chiang Mai, that's a more expensive trip, and so I kind of sprinkle it in with, another trip down to maybe Malaysia or South Thailand, other places, right? So I try to get out to see my dad as much as possible, and when I do, I'm there for 1 month or 2 months. But sometimes if I don't need to be gone that long, I'll take a little short border trip. So this can vary, right? And so that's why the next one down is basic visa run monthly budget. If you put aside $75 a month US, then every 3 months you have to leave either Vietnam or right now Thailand, because Thailand has the 2 months, and then you can renew a third month visa free, visa exempt. And so that visa run from Chiang Mai, from Bangkok, from Phuket, from Krabi, from Dalat, from anywhere here is doable on a border run for $75 US. That's going across a land border and back same day. Okay, so that is my range. So 250 for the Ritz, or 75 for the budget hotel, right? But yeah, so 75 is just basic. I'm getting out of the country and coming back, and that's all I'm doing. $250 a month, that allows you to go somewhere maybe you haven't been before, allows you to stay for a week or more. And so that's how I divided those up. And so grand total of my cost of living in Dalat per month is $975 to $1,150 US. Can you do this cheaper? Yeah, you can. If you're a walker like me and you choose not to eat out so much, maybe you don't drink quite as much, and then yeah, you can definitely go cheaper than I have gone. I'm also in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. You can get a studio. Now, if you do shop for a studio and you go to Facebook or you're going to Airbnb, these expat groups, any place that speaks English is going to charge you for the English price, Westerners. So just keep that in mind. The place I moved when I first got here was a nice studio. I loved it. It was really nice. And it was 8.5 million dong per month, which is around $350 US. And that was, my friends said, you're paying too much. And sure enough, so they find this place, and it's just as nice, but it's 2-bedroom, 1-bath for less money. So it is all who you know, and you should know some locals if you don't. That's going to save you a lot of money. So I've already covered in this, it saved me on the rent that I just talked about, and it saved me on that cell phone coverage. So knowing locals, and it saved me on food. I was able to try all the different types of Vietnamese foods, which I didn't think I would really like too much when I first came to visit, and now I'm like, oh my God, this is such great stuff. Anyway, so that is my total budget in Dalat, Vietnam, and that concludes this first segment. We'll say segment A of a 3-letter series, right? So the next segment coming up, you'll hear what I paid when I lived in Chiang Mai.